Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Thanks for joining today's YouTube live session. Welcome to the Skill Edge channel. So today, what we are going to talk about, myself and Ankit sir, is those frequently asked questions in any job interview, right? So there are some questions, whether you're applying for a sales job, you're applying for a finance job, engineering job, or analytics, or anything like that, right? So in those, some questions are asked to basically understand how you communicate, your personality, and few more things, right? So they are not exactly technical questions related to a specific job, but they are very important. And how you answer those questions shows your personality, your preparedness, your communication skills, etc., right? So we are only going to talk about those today, right, in this maybe 15 to 20 minutes. So welcome, Ankit sir, for the session. And sir, you have prepared lots of students, I think over a couple of thousand students
Yeah,
for facing the industry interviews, right? And I
yeah,
think it's across broad spectrum, more in finance, but across broad spectrum, right? So today we are not restricting to finance by itself.
yeah.
So what are those typical questions that the interviewer asks, correct? So the interviewer may be not even from the background, correct? So there are HR rounds and so many other rounds are there, right? Which are used as a to assess the candidates, right? So can you tell me those maybe five, six, seven typical questions and that are asked to the candidate?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sir, there are very common questions which are asked by every interviewer. So they ask these questions in every interview. So let's suppose the very first question which interviewer asks is introduce yourself. And if I talk about other questions, so why you want to join this company or where you want to see yourself after 5 years? Tell us about your strength and weaknesses. They also ask such kind of questions that whether are you comfortable in relocating from your city to another city, whether you are comfortable in traveling or are you comfortable in working for extra hours. So these are the very common question which every interviewer asks. And now basically students, they know they don't prepare these kind of questions. Basically they focus on technical questions and they don't know how to introduce yourself. So this is a very common question where interviewer check your communication skills, your intention, your past experience, everything interviewer will be checking from these questions.
So how should typically one answer a communication, the introduce yourself question, right? How much time should one take? What should he talk? What he shouldn't talk? Typically 2 minutes, I think, is max we can take, right? Something like that. So what is your point of view on that?
So basically, when you are going for interview now, so you should prepare your this part very well in how to introduce yourself, because here interviewer he will be checking your communication skill. Also, interviewer will be checking that how you have worked, what is your past experience. You should talk about your experience also. So if I talk about freshers, so they should talk about their internship, that from where they have done internship, how what they have learned during their internship, what are their future goals, and if I talk about other things, so they should talk about some their basic skills, that what skills they have achieved, right? So these things are very important. So what I usually suggest to my students, that they should prepare this part very well. They should jot down every points which are important, which they should speak in front of interviewer, and they should also prepare some videos for introduction part, and they should watch those videos by themselves, or they should show these videos to their friends and relatives, and they should take feedback that how he or she is introducing. So this part is very common, even though I have appeared for several interviews, and every time interviewer he asks this question, even though interviewer is having your resume, they will ask this kind of questions from you.
Right. So I think, sir, perfectly said. Just maybe one or two points I'll add is I think students don't know what not to talk, right? So sometimes students end up saying, I'm from this place, which is okay. No, I'm based in Amravati, for example. Because, my sister is working here. No, my brother-in-law is working here. So avoid too much of details
Yeah,
about the family, right? You are going in a work environment. Tell them, I'm from this place and we are a five-member family. That's enough. You don't need to elaborate too much on that unless you are asked, right?
yeah,
Because
definitely.
normally even the employee should not ask those too much of personal questions, right? In some cases they might ask just to understand, are you willing to move and relocate or something like that.
Yeah,
That's one thing. What not to tell is also important.
that is true.
Also, it is like an elevator speech, right? So you have to practice a 30-second speech, 1 minute speech, and 2 minute speech, right? That's what I like recommend. If you are given only 30 seconds, what to speak, what to omit, right? That becomes important. So you should very well prepare for that. As I think Ankit sir said, emphasize on skills, Emphasize on your graduation, postgraduate, what did you learn? If you're going
Yeah,
for finance analyst job, I took these specialized subjects, correct? That's very, very important, right? Because
that's true.
I know how to do the securities analysis. I know how to, calculate the VAR for a portfolio, right? Those things are extremely important, and do practice it. It should come out extempore or naturally. It should not look like, you are reading word by word something that you have memorized. So that's
Yeah,
very
that's true.
important.
That's true.
Sir, one more thing you said is, I think this is also another very important, I think very frequently asked question. Why do you want to join XYZ company? Like, why do you want to join Infosys? Why do you want to join Cognizant, right? And basically, a person is looking for a good job, right? But he has to answer in the context. So, how does one prepare for that?
So basically, when interviewer asks such kind of question, now what answer students give that it's my dream company, or some other answer which student give is that it's a reputed company. That is the reason I want to join. But what I will suggest you now that if you are coming up for interview, so you should read about the company very well, right? You should link that company with your goal. If your goal is clear and if you're able to link that company with the goal, so you will be able to give better answer as compared to you're saying that's a dream company. So definitely such kind of answers are not entertained by interviewer. So they will be asking you, if you are saying that it's your dream company, so they will be asking you that what you know about that company. So basically, if I talk about finance students, so they should read the financial statement of those companies. They should know that what exactly company do. If you are saying that it's your dream company, and if you don't know that what that company do, many a times student they commit such mistake. They say that it's a dream company. If CA is my dream profession, so definitely I should know about that what actually CA do, what subjects I have to learn during or when I'm pursuing CA. So definitely when you are saying such kind of words, so you should know everything about company. So you should behave like an investor. When you invest your money in any company, so you do fundamental or you can say detailed analysis. You read financial statement, you read that what business actually do, what will be the future of that business. So definitely you should do such kind of learnings before appearing for interview. So you should talk about financials of company. That company will definitely grow. I know this. I know about this company, and definitely I can contribute to this company. If you're giving such kind of answers now, and if you're able to create or if you're able to build your trust in front of interview, definitely they will be taking your name for final round. Yeah.
Sir, this is extremely important. In my last about 30 years of career, myself and my team members have, interviewed over 10,000 students, right? Not just students, experienced guys. And
Yeah.
a 10-year experienced guys with lot of qualification, like, I won't name the qualifications, but good business schools and everything. If I ask them, what do you know about, and why do you want to join? They
Yeah.
have not even done the basic job of going to the website, right? So what it tells you, why this question is asked, why? So basically the interview is trying to see, can you answer such questions? Do you prepare for the interview? Because if you join that company and you are put in front of the customer, you can't be guided every day. Nobody
Yeah.
can come and tell you, no, now go and study the customer. You should do it by yourself, right? When you're talking to the customer, go and look at his LinkedIn profile, go and look at their website. Go, if he has some video, go and look at it. Do half an hour, 1 hour of research on the company and the people you're going to speak to. So they just want to see, are you that kind of a person who, does these things by yourself inspire, before being asked to do it, right? So it shows your initiative and, how you think. Great, sir. And then I think one thing you mentioned is, the questions like, for example, are you open to travel, right? Or are you open to relocation, right? So what is your experience on that as well?
So that's the most important question for any candidate. You know, most of the interviewer they will be giving, if you are looking for a big organization. So big organization they are having branches across globe, right? So let's suppose if I'm taking example of India. So most of the students, especially girl students, they don't prefer to relocate. So before you're going for interview now, you should decide this thing whether you are going to relocate or not. So first you should find out that what is the job location, right? Most of the students what they do they don't do detailed research of company. They don't do detailed research of job profile, right? And they sit for the interview and interviewer asks this question that are you comfortable in relocating? And students say sir, I'm not comfortable in relocating. I have to stay in my city only. So interviewer immediately reject their profile. They blacklist them. That if you know the job profile, if you know the this thing that where company will be providing you job, and instead of reading the profile you're coming for interview, so definitely they reject such kind of question. And especially, sir, I want to suggest this thing to the freshers freshers who are going to join their job, if their job is first time. So definitely they should be open for travel, and they should open to relocate also, because I think they will be getting huge experience if they are traveling a lot, and if they are ready to relocate. Once you are gaining experience, then you can decide that in which city you want to settle down. So you should be open for traveling. You should be open for relocating. And if you are not comfortable, let's suppose, especially if you are a girl, so you should read the profile and you should not go for that interview if you are not able to relocate. So that's from my side, sir.
Absolutely. So I think Ankit sir, welcome to Pune again. I know you have relocated to Pune. I
Yes, sir.
think you
Yeah.
have been open, so I think it has helped your career as well. So yeah, I think so. It's location is very important in your life, correct? So study a little bit. If the position is in Bangalore, I think if somebody asks why you're okay to with Bangalore, you know, 2-3 sentences you need to speak, right? It's not like somebody is asking you to submit a PhD thesis, but do your basic research, right? Sound convincing. See, people know you are ultimately looking for a good role and salary, right? By and large, right? And a
Yeah.
good employer, brand name. But they want to see, do you prepare yourself? Do you try to sell yourself? You know, are you serious enough? Are you committed enough for your own career? If you are committed to your career, you will be committed to the company's, business, correct? Otherwise, if
Definitely.
you don't care about your, and sir, surprisingly, very large number of, experienced candidates also don't prepare for basic stuff, right? They just land up like that, thinking that I'll get this job and like that. So sometimes they do get the job because the requirement on the project,
Yeah.
billable project, is so urgent that people still take them. Okay, let him leave after 6 months. Right now, there is a client, there is a fire on the project, right? But that's not the right way to develop a career. So I think these 2-3 questions, I think we want to close this session in about 15 to 20 minutes. So I think thanks very much for contributing your thoughts. So what I feel is, I think the freshers specifically have to understand there is a reason why these questions are asked. You are being assessed how well prepared you are. So that shows your commitment towards your career, right? And those who are committed to the career, I would like to hire them. They are very serious. Maybe they will leave after 2-3 years. That's a different issue, right? But then you will do a good job while you are there. Maybe you are there for 6 months, 1 year, 10 years, whatever it is. But because you are committed to your career, I know that hiring you is the right kind of thing for me to do, right? So that's very, very important. So I think that's good, sir. I think sharing your experience and contributing to this is very, very important. So I think next time what we'll do is, I think if you can suggest, probably we can get into more details, more nuances of a specific job profile. Today, the kind of questions that we dealt with, right? So FAQs, and there are more questions, and we can of course talk at length on that. Ankit sir has mentioned those few more questions. So there are technical questions on the job, right? So they differ what kind of role you are applying for. A project manager, maybe a business development guy, program manager, right? Salesperson, technical analyst, or maybe a finance analyst, right? So they are technical questions related to the job. So do you think, sir, maybe next time what we can do is we can get a little bit deeper into those
Definitely, sir.
questions that, are specifically targeted on a profile? And, what kind of profiles would you suggest for us to
So
discuss?
we can be taking this sessions on financial analyst profile, what multiple branches of financial analyst profiles are having, and we will be suggesting that what technical questions can be asked from the interviewer. So we will be suggesting them that what basic questions can be expected from the interviewer, and what advanced things you have to prepare. As in Skill Edge, we regularly take PI of our students. So recently, I took PI of few students who have given several PIs to us. Now, if I compare their performance, how their situation was initially and how their situation is right now after 3-4 PIs, so it creates a great impact. So definitely, we will try to take more PIs of our students, and we will try to take more sessions, similar kind of sessions for specific profiles. So
So one
definitely,
or
we will.
two more I will suggest is, LinkedIn profile and resume
Yeah,
preparation. Maybe we can talk about that, right? So
yeah,
those
definitely.
one or two, and plus maybe specific to your job profile we can see. So I think those who are freshers, I think you don't have experience of the industry, try to understand there is a reason why people ask this question. That's very, very important, and you have to prepare for answering those questions. A lot of times when I have conducted the interview, I have the resume in my hand. I 10 days back I looked at that resume, correct, and I okayed it, but now I don't remember the name of the person also, correct. I mean, I
Yeah,
have seen so many resumes. I'm doing my own job, my family, everything else is there, right? After 10 days, if let's say Suresh comes and I'm interviewing him, I tell him, why don't you introduce yourself? Because in those 2 minutes, I'm not just listening to him, I'm also looking at his profile, right? Because then I want to ask him next question, which is based on his experience, right? So think through these things. Very, very important that you prepare for these very basic, simple sounding questions, because it's like first impressions, right? Once that first impression is formed, you are a very studious, focused person who prepares for everything, is committed to your career. That carries throughout the next maybe 20, 30, 45 minutes, right? That's extremely important. So thank you, Ankit sir, for joining
Thanks a
today.
lot,
And I
sir.
think let's have maybe next few discussions on very specific profiles, and maybe resume building and something like that.
Sure,
So
sir. Sure,
thanks
sir.
much everyone, and I think let's end today's call, and we'll see you maybe in next 1 or 2 weeks, right? So thank you very much everyone. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, everyone.